The Hay name means a lot to me. I've come from a family where we have some pretty deep roots in rodeo.
We've all kind of tried to do it the right way, and the code of the West kind of runs deep in our family. Just want to be cowboys and be good at it.
We're one of the famous names in the saddle broncs, just kind of one of the last names where, you know, the brothers got to compete together and be competitive and, you know, both make the finals all together. It's pretty special for that.
The Hay name is legendary in Canadian bronc riding. Rod and Denny Hay set the standard, and Logan and Dawson Hay grew up ready to follow in their footsteps.
Ever since I can remember, rodeo's been a part of my life and something I've always looked forward to. My very first experiences were ever at rodeos. That was our favorite time. I remember watching in the daycare at the NFR. Me and the Wright boys and Dawson and everyone would just be pumped watching, cheering our dads on.
The neat part about rodeoing is it's such a family sport, and we got to take the boys to rodeos.
Rod spent decades at the top of the world standings in the saddle bronc riding, a fixture at the NFR, and an 8-time champion in Canada. He then went on to help his sons acquire the same skill set.
Both of them rode steers a little bit. They both kind of got on their first horses at the same time at a rodeo school. You could tell they both wanted to try it out.
The very first rodeo that I rode at, I broke my arm, and I'm like, gosh. And so I got through with that, came back, and my third horse after breaking my arm, I broke it again. And so I was like, this is just ridiculous.
It took us a long time to figure it out. There's a lot of guys that even we started with that picked it up a lot quicker. I don't think we were destined to be. It was just something that we were passionate about, and we really wanted to figure it out.
The Canadian Arena record, we just tied it. 95 points, Dawson Hay.
The man that holds the record with the best saddle bronc ride ever, this is Logan Hay.
Once they got going with it, the more they went, the more the determination to become great at it.
Logan and Dawson are on track to create rodeo resumes that run in the family. And there is one rodeo in particular where the Hay family has made history.
The Calgary Stampede it's probably one of the biggest things that happens in Canada.
Calgary's my favorite rodeo. I bet 95% of the people say Calgary and the other 5% haven't been there.
Growing up, it was just a dream to be able to get on there. As a kid, I remember watching my dad win it.
And an excellent ride by Roddy Hay, and he knows it.
It's one of the toughest rodeos in the world to win. I won it 4 times.
2005, I think, was the last time he won it, and I would have been 8. And I remember me and Dawson were watching it on TV, and I remember he bought us a couple pellet guns after.
17 years later, Logan and Dawson had the chance to leave Calgary with more than a pellet gun. In 2022, the moment that had once belonged to Rod was right in front of his sons. Both Logan and Dawson were 2 of the final 4 in the championship round at the Calgary Stampede.
I didn't even really care how it all went out because I knew one of us was going home with the $50,000.
I was the first out. I knew I was going to have to do something, you know, pretty good if I was even going to have a chance. So I just let it all hang out there.
Riding for the big bucks, and here we go. Beautiful bronc ride by Hay. 89.5 points. Joins his dad now as a Calgary Stampede champion.
I made one of the best rides I've ever made. I beat Dawson by half a point there at the end. There's nothing like when I run across that field when you're going to get on the big stage. That was one of the best feelings ever. I was just thinking, you know, holy cow, I just won Calgary.
That was one of my best days ever, watching them guys win first and second there. You know, Logan won it and Dawson was a half point behind. That was unbelievable.
I remember just thinking that's got to be the coolest feeling ever.
A feeling Dawson would get to experience a year later at the 2023 Calgary Stampede.
He got second the year before, so he came back with some vengeance.
Here we go. Dawson Hay. This horse is getting it on.
He just aced everything. When he gets on a roll, he's pretty tough to stop. That was pretty incredible.
Your 2023 Saddle Bronc champion, Dawson Hay!
To walk up on that stage and, you know, be another Hay to put his name on the list of champions at Calgary Stampede. I had my daughter, I remember picking her up and walking her out on the stage, and just thinking about how that was me and my dad at one point, you know, 20 years ago or so. It was pretty cool to bring my family up there and you know, have the whole new generation picking up that check.
I was down at the border the next day. I was taking some horses to a rodeo down south, and I was standing in line, and the one lady said, "You must have come from Calgary." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I did." She said, "Did you ride?" I said, "Oh, no, it's been a long time since I've rode there. My kids were riding." She said, "Who are your kids?" "Oh," I said, "It's Logan and Dawson. They were in the bronc riding." And she goes, "Oh, you're the Hay dad." And I thought, "Oh, well." So now I'm the Hay dad. I'm officially retired. So that was pretty cool.
We just kind of, try to make our own path. When it comes down to actually riding broncs, you know, we take it very seriously and just hope we can continue that on.
The Hay name, it means the world to be able to continue that legacy on. I would say maybe some pressure in holding up that name a little bit, but for the most part, it's been more proud to keep the name going at a high level.
I don't really worry about the legacy. That's probably still being written.